Alright, time to get this thing started. Just make sure the mic is good so you guys can hear me. There's going to be a lot of noise in the background. It was been hot here for the past couple of days. Finally we got a cool down. Windows are open. Here's some music in the background. It's just a speaker that I have up because I usually do this when it's quiet, but I need some noise right now. So initially this was the page I was working on last time, well, more like a couple of weeks ago, and I'm gonna move on to the next one, but I'm gonna keep this one as a reference. I don't know, because I honestly don't remember how I was doing this to start with. Keep this up here, and you can see all the other pages, so I'm gonna work on this one right here. Very sloppy pencils. That's how it usually works out for me. I do live near an airport, so it's cloudy and they tend to circle over. I think something happened over here initially when I was doing this on Procreate, because it just erased without me realizing it. I hate this Wacom tool sometimes. It just does what it wants to do. Alrighty, let's get to this. Go into red light pencils. I'm going to start with her since she's the easiest one to do. Symmetry tool is great when it's looking right at you. Trying to get it right in the middle as much as I can, more or less. I'm not gonna go too crazy about it since I'm just doing the pencil work right now. And this is why I need the other pages of reference, because I gotta remember what I'm doing. Half the stuff I did a couple of weeks ago, things came up and I haven't been really able to really focus on this. I was in Florida last week, went to a national tournament with some of my students, and that really ate up a lot of my time. I'm not liking this at all. I have to do this without the symmetry tool because it's making it too wide. So turn this. I'm gonna have to be right back. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, that got a little complicated. I had to deal with something really fast. Whew, I'm out of breath. I had to run up and down. Okay, what was I saying? What was I doing? Oh, yes. Turn that off. Let's see. Make sure I can see what I'm doing. So I have on the previous page up as a reference because I haven't been able, like I said, I haven't been able to do this for a couple of weeks because I've had other things coming up. So I'm just trying to get the right information here. I feel really rusty right now doing this because, again, I haven't done anything significant for a couple of weeks. Like 2 weeks, I would say, yeah. Well, a couple is 2, so. We had kids going national tournament in Florida, like I mentioned earlier. They did okay. They could have done better, but it is what it is. First time experience for 2 of them. One of them had experience prior. He did okay also. It's kind of funny because I made her hair kind of flat for some reason, but for what it's worth, it's okay. Opacity is down this one. I don't know why it seems so much darker. Caught kind of a cold over there too. Everything's air conditioned, and then you go on to the heat. Isn't like the best thing. Damn, I messed up her eyes a lot, but I can fix that. Usually, when it comes to the red line, I don't try to do anything too complicated. It's just I want the information to be there. That way I know what I'm doing when I'm inking. Like initially I was gonna have him wearing glasses too, but, or like sunglasses in a sense. But I opted out of doing that because I wanted just to keep it as is. This live might be pretty short because I have to do something right afterwards. I just wanted to do something. Get back into like just in general just creating something. I haven't drawn anything honestly too in a while. Like not even sketch, doodles, anything. So I feel weird. I feel out of practice. Like all the information, I know where it is. I know what I have to do. I just feel that because I haven't actually like done anything serious in a while, it just doesn't feel normal right now. It doesn't feel like I'm doing this, you know. I can't think of like really a word to describe it. Like I know I'm the one doing this, but it just doesn't feel like it's me, like it's what I'm used to doing, because haven't done anything in like 2 weeks. that in. I'm trying to figure this page out because I don't want to repeat panels too much. For example, like everything I have here, this was the initial first page for the bonus chapter. Basically starts with establishing shot, gives you an idea of what's going on, goes right into the two main people for this story. Then I kind of do basically like a full shot for this main panel, give you like a good idea of the space that they're in, people behind them, close-ups here, close-ups there. But then I don't want to repeat this part in this panel. I don't want to repeat that. I just, it bothers me because it feels like I'm just copy and pasting, which is not what I want to do. I don't want it to seem like that, but it kind of like works in the camera sense. Like usually establish a shot far, then you get closer, then you try to get a little further back to give you a good idea of the space, then you get really close, and then you gotta like pull back again a bit. But then that pullback is where I'm getting like a sense that I'm repeating myself, because it's just gonna look like I'm just cutting half of them and just putting it into this panel right here, which is not my intention. I'm still really like trying to figure out what to do for that part. It's like the hard part of doing comics, like, because you gotta have you need to be, if you're not the writer of the story, the writer has to tell you in the script, like full shot, quarter shot, 3/4 shot, and that's like very specific. And if you are into like movie making, that's how they do establishing shots and character shots and things like that, person shots or whatever it is. It's kind of like you have to look at everything as through a lens of a camera, as if this is supposed to be like a TV show or a movie. Like, how would these shots work if this was on the screen? Sorry for that. And you don't want to be too repetitive with repeating the same type of paneling each time, but you also don't want to be going too far out where it kind of is jarring, that you're like wondering, how did we go from this and then all of a sudden we're going into this other thing? Like, why is it first we're going into like a full-blown close-up shot of something, and then all of a sudden it just like pulls back to reveal way too much information all at once? It should be something that's kind of subtle and fed into it bit by bit. So if you start really close in on something and you pull back from, let's say you're in on a full shot, you'll pull back at a 3/4, then you pull back at half. And at the half is when you kind of do a bigger reveal than what everything is, because everything was a bit tighter. And that's kind of like how I kind of take the process of paneling for myself. I just want to make sure that the way I see things is like how you would see it through a camera, see it on the screen and things like that. So I don't want to repeat too much of the same paneling, the same format, the same style. And one thing that I kind of started applying into my own work is kind of like a countdown to something that's kind of important. So for example, if I have one page starts establishing shot, zooms in a bit, then zooms in more on like who probably are the main characters for that sequence, and that might be 4 panels. Maybe the next page will be 3 panels. The page after that might be 2 panels, and then the reveal will be a full page splash. And then from there, what I might do is that I went from that 1, and the next page might be 2 panels, next page might be 3, maybe the next page will be 4, or I might go back down, depending on how I want it to feel. Because I think that's one way of doing storytelling with panels, is that you give it like a countdown, and you're not even realizing, because you're just reading what's going on, seeing what's going on. You're not really paying attention, like, oh, there's like 5 panels on a page, 6 panels on a page, 4, 3, 2, 1, until it happens. And a good example of how this was done was in the 90s Death of Superman comic. Every issue was a countdown issue to basically to his death. I believe like the first, I think it was like a 5-issue miniseries or 4-issue miniseries, but basically the first issue was about every page was at least 4 or 5 panels. Then the following issue was like 3 panels, and then the next part was 2 panels. Finally, the last issue where it was going to happen, it was just splash page after splash page after splash page. And it could have been like just one full page, or it could have been a double page spread, but it was basically a countdown to what was going to happen, to the conclusion. And if you paid attention, you're like, oh wow, that's kind of like a brilliant way, because you didn't realize, like, okay, we're on a clock, we're really seeing a countdown to what's going to happen. If you were like me, just reading it, and you didn't realize it until like, oh wait, I'm going to reread this again, I'm going to read it again, then you start realizing, wait a minute, everything's getting bigger and bigger, and everything seems to be going faster. Because again, once you have a lot of panels on the page, you're kind of expanding the story. You're giving everything a beat, a step. But the less amount of panels on the page, the faster is the beat, the faster things are moving. And that's why I always have another thing that I feel like full splash page, double page spread, or if you really ambitious, you do like a gatefold, like 3, 4, 5, 6, like a Jim Lee stuff that he did for Wildcats #5. I think he did like 2 4-page gatefolds. Like you had to like spread them out to read it, to like kind of like give like that last, like that explosive moment that was built up to. Personally, for me, I don't think I can ever do something that large. My limit so far has been 2-page spreads, and that's kind of another comic that I'm working on. And that's kind of like where I put myself. I'm like, I don't think I can ever do something like that huge. And like the thought of the process, like how you're gonna send it to the printer, how you're gonna explain something, like, yeah, all 4 of these pages got to go together somehow. So when you're an indie artist, that's money. And back to the point, it's kind of like paneling is important, pacing it is important. I very much take to the manga style of pacing. I like spreading things out little by little. And I believe it was like in volume 1 of Second Revolution, like I think I was just in my head, I gave myself a barrier on page count, how many pages I wanted per chapter. So I started making a bit too many panels in like the first 5 chapters, and things felt very squeezed in. But I changed that going into the second volume, and I changed that going into the third volume, giving myself more space to breathe. And I'm giving myself more space to breathe on this one, but I'm still trying to maintain what I was saying, like trying to keep it as like a build up, a countdown, depending on what the situation is, to what's going to be revealed a page later, 2 pages later. I hate having a cold in the summer, but at least it's cold today. Alright, so I like talk for too long. I haven't done anything on this page. I'm going to focus on, I kind of figured out what I'm going to do with this panel right here on top. Instead of it being a full front on shot, I'm going to change it to a 3/4 shot. Because I believe I had that in the first page, but it was more profile. 3/4 shot, you get more of the face, like down here with Aaron at the bottom. That's kind of like more than a 3/4 shot, but it gives you the idea of what I want to do. Let me zoom in a bit. I always start with her because she's more of in front. Make it a little bit bigger. Now you might be asking, like, why did I make it lopsided like that? There is a reason. Keep it simple. Again, it's like the super details later. Now, this story, like I said, it is a bonus chapter. I didn't add it into the initial regular chapters that I was doing for the main part of volume 4. Reason is that I felt like this was gonna take momentum away from the actual story that I was doing. This is very rough, so I'm not even gonna go crazy like making it too overly detailed. One thing I do have to check, I'm gonna use this as a reference because I didn't make any other type of references. Okay, zoom out a bit. I'm not gonna have like the exact same buildings because they are walking, so they're gonna be passing by different locations. Something there, put that there. Here we go. Put another storefront. There. One on the other side. I tend to do like solid blacks for certain areas because sometimes it just works better. If you're doing this on your own, you don't want to go super crazy on details. Taller building. Alright, so that's good for now. And this is kind of like my approach anyway, in general, when I'm doing this, because I know my lines, I know where they go, what their function is, and when it comes to me inking my own work, I know what I'm looking for exactly. If I was to hand this over to somebody else, I will make it a lot cleaner, and I will make sure there's separation between the actual characters and the background, so that way it's easy for that person to ink. But since I'm doing it on my own, I kind of know where everything goes. I don't really have to worry about that. But that's pretty much it for right now. I'm gonna try to see if I can. I'm telling you, this is bad. I am getting better, but that's pretty much it for now. I said it was going to be a short live. I just wanted to get something done. I wanted to get my hands back, getting used to working on the tablet, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'll probably continue it either later tonight, maybe tomorrow. I got to see when I can do it. I still got to get some physical therapy done for my left arm. Have one more session to go, and I got to squeeze it in sometime. Alright, thank you guys for sticking around. I'll catch you on the next one.